Hi guys, Dennis here from Denny Bob's RC Construction, and welcome back to the channel. I have tried something for the very first time, and be honest with you, I completely forgot they even existed until some members of our Facebook group reminded and shared them with me. I've always kind of put an ESC in the trucks to power the tarp. Really don't need an ESC to power the tarp. What I ended up going through and using is what they call a winch controller. To be honest with you, I totally spaced them off, didn't even really even think about them even existing. But they're a real space saver, and they work fine for these little N20 motors and little itty bitty motors. And you don't have to use up a bunch of room for another ESC, even a small one. I'll kind of show you just a second. Yeah, basically this is the winch controller. It plugs into a channel on the radio, and then has a power source out, and then it controls the motor both ways. I've used a couple of them up already, and they come with adapters to go from female to adapt to the male here, just in case, depending on what end you have on your actuator or whatever. I don't know if they would do actuators, like if I wanted to do a little mini excavator and use some little motors. I don't know if they'd be powerful enough. The thing is you're drawing power out of the receiver. A lot of the receivers are only like 5 volt or 6 volt. Some of the receivers take an output like 7.4, depending on what brand of receiver you use. But you know, for a little 6 volt N20 motor, perfect. But let's see here. I'll turn the radio on. Alright. Pardon the bench. The bench is a little bit messy at the moment, but one thing I will say is it's a lot slower than the 12 volt ESC though. But these DPS boxes are pretty slow anyway. The motors that they send with them. But it gets the job done, takes up a lot less room. You don't have to worry about an ESC being turned on or off, or whatever. You know, it works. There. And then I actually went through and did I did the one on my RCP box as well. I put one in there. I burned up an ESC, a little ESC the other day on the tarp. I plugged the battery in and went up in smoke. So I'm like, well, I'll try these. They were only like $8 or $9 for this little winch controller. It actually comes with plenty of wire on them, but depends on what you're using it for, I suppose. But that's easy to coil up and use some zip ties and get them cleaned up. But anyway, shut the truck off and shut the radio off. But overall, you know, it just goes to prove that you're never too old to learn something, and find something new to use for something like this. I may even go back to, no, I'm going to leave it the way it is. I have a semi that I have for my belly dump trailer, my semi tractor that's down in this box here. But I could take that ESC out of there and put one of those winch controllers for the wires that control the tarp. But I'm also going to use this semi tractor every once in a while on my lowboy, just in case my other tractor goes down for some reason. I can use that on my lowboy, so I'm going to leave that alone. because I don't think they're powerful enough to use for anything that's gonna, you know, really have some weight to it. You know, I don't really want it for my detach on the trailer, because I'm usually got some weight on there, so it may not be enough. But anyway, just figured I'd come in here and share that with you guys. Many of you probably already know about them, but you know, I'm always learning. In this hobby, to learn more and more from different people and share the information. So anyway, catch you guys later.